Guys, welcome to my channel. In this channel we provide the in-depth knowledge of different programming languages which differentiate you with others. In a series of Python programming language, today we are going to cover a topic known as operator overloading, which comes under polymorphism. Now let's talk about features of object-oriented programming language. Basically there are four features of any object-oriented programming languages. First one is data abstraction. As the name specifies, abstraction refers to the act of representing essential features without including the background details and explanation. Like it's an example of function. How printf is written, we are least bothered. We are only bothered about how to call a printf function. If we talk about data encapsulation, the wrapping up of data and function that operate on the data into a single unit called class is known as encapsulation. Means we are encapsulating two things. First one is data and second one is member function, and this member function always work on the data member of a class, and this entity in which we encapsulate these two things are known as classes. Encapsulation is a way to implement data abstraction. Listen carefully. Encapsulation is a way to implement data abstraction. It hides the detail of the implementation of an object. Now, how object is working, that is totally hidden from the user. हम क्या करते हैं, we create a class and we provide a compiled form in a form of library to the user. User just make the object of that class and use it. Like number is a class in which we are having a fact function which will calculate the factorial of a number or data member present in the number class. Now the user is least bothered about the definition of the number class. What he will do, he will create an object of number class and he will call the member function. Encapsulation is a way to implement data abstraction. Data is abstracted from the user, hidden from the user. It hides details of the implementation of an object. So these two things are interlinked. One is data abstraction and second one is data encapsulation. Next, if we talk about something known as inheritance. Inheritance is the capability of one class of things to inherit capabilities or properties from the another class. This we will plan to discuss in some other class. Next, polymorphism. As the name specifies, poly means many, morphism means different forms. The same thing is acting differently in different situations is an example of polymorphism. What is the definition? It is the quality that allows one name to be used for two or more related but technically different purpose. It is the quality that allows one name to be used for two or more related but technically different purpose. Give me one example of polymorphism. You are an example of polymorphism. How? You are a same entity but you are behaving differently in different situations. जैसे आप किसी के बेटे हो, किसी के भाई हो, किसी के पापा हो, किसी के cousin brother हो. You are behaving differently in different situations. It's an example of polymorphism that allows one name to be used. आप एक ही नाम हो, Mr. X, used for two or more different related but technically different purpose. So operator overloading comes under polymorphism. Now how it comes under polymorphism, that we will discuss. Operator overloading, then we will try to correlate how it comes under polymorphism. Now let's start something known as operator overloading. These four features are very important. As we will go in our classes, we will discuss one by one. Now let's take an example. We have a number class. It's a user defined class. Why it is a user defined class? Because we are defining that class. We have a number class. Python does not know how to add or subtract or multiply object of this class. The problem comes if you want to add two object of a number class. If I write E1 n1 equal to n2 plus n3. Now Python doesn't know how to add two objects of a number class. Why? Because number class is a user defined class. Same thing if I write n2 is equal to n3 minus n4, compiler doesn't know how to subtract. तो अब आपके पास दो ऑप्शन है, either you write a member function like object dot add or object dot subtract or object dot multi or object dot division. But problem here is that suppose 10 user create a class, one will write add, another will write addition, third will write sum. So for the user what happens, he has to see the help of that class कि इस यूज़र इस जिसने भी ये क्लास बनाई है उसके अंदर दो ऑब्जेक्ट्स को ऐड करने के लिए फंक्शन का नाम क्या रखा हुआ है. बट इफ वी टॉक अबाउट एडिशन, द फर्स्ट थिंग दैट कम्स अवर माइंड इज प्लस सिंबल. सपोज इफ आई से प्लीज ऐड टू इंटीजर, व्हाट यू विल राइट, ए प्लस बी. इफ आई से प्लीज ऐड टू फ्लोट नंबर्स, व्हाट यू विल राइट, ए प्लस बी. इफ आई राइट please add two double number, what you will write, a plus b. The plus symbol is common to everybody or every data type. Same thing what I want when I write e1 equal to e2 plus e3, what is e2 and e3 and e1, these are the objects of the number class. But compiler will flash an error. Why? Because compiler doesn't know how to add two objects of a number class. Why? Because number is a user defined class. उसको कैसे ऐड करना है ये तो आप ही बताओगे ना. फाइन. तो पाइथन डजंट नो हाउ टू ऐड और सब्ट्रैक्ट और मल्टीप्लाई ऑब्जेक्ट ऑफ दिस क्लास. वी कैन टीच इट हाउ टू डू इट बाय ओवरलोडिंग प्लस ऑपरेटर. व्हाट वी विल डू, वी विल ओवरलोड द प्लस ऑपरेटर. नाउ एज द नेम स्पेसिफाई, ऑपरेटर ओवरलोडिंग. ओवरलोडिंग मतलब किसी का लोड को बढ़ा देना. अब वही प्लस सिंबल पहले दो इंटीजर भी ऐड करता था, वही प्लस सिंबल दो फ्लोट भी ऐड करता था, अब वही प्लस सिंबल दो ऑब्जेक्ट भी ऐड करेगा. किस टाइप के, नंबर क्लास के. लेट्स टेक एन एग्जांपल. नाउ हियर वी आर हैविंग ए क्लास कॉल्ड नंबर, def underscore underscore init. What is this init method? Init method is a special type of member function which invokes implicitly whenever an object is created. It is used to initialize the data member of a class. If we are not inserting an init method inside the class, तो compiler or Python automatically insert one init method inside the class. Why? Because it's a rule कि whenever an object is created, a special kind of member function called init must be invoked. So here we are inserting def init self comma n equal to 0. It's an example of default argument self dot underscore underscore num is equal to n. Why we are using underscore underscore num? Because we are declaring this num as a private data member of a class. Fine. If we remove this underscore underscore, it becomes public, and if we put 1, it becomes protected. Now here we are having def underscore underscore add underscore underscore self comma other. This we will see how it works. Now here when I write a equal to 50, b equal to 60, a equal to 50 means we are initializing 50 to a and 60 to b. Printf a plus b. Now a and b are what? Integer. Now when I write a plus b, the compiler know how to add to integer, so it will give the output 110. Then I write n1 equal to number 10, n2 is equal to number 20. What we are doing, we are creating two nameless object which is will be referred by n1 and n2, जिसके num के अंदर वैल्यू क्या रहेगी, एक के अंदर 10 रहेगी और एक के अंदर 20 रहेगी. As you write n1 is equal to number 10, this init method will be initially implicitly called, and this n equal to 0 will be overridden with 10. Self dot, self holds the address of the current object. In first case current object is what, n1, तो n1 का एड्रेस रहेगा. अल्टीमेटली n will hold the address of an object. That object name is nameless. तो self dot underscore underscore num equal to n, तो 10 will be initialized to that object. Same thing in the case of n2 is equal to number 20. this 20 will be initialized to num. Now we are having two objects with a name n1 and n2, which is holding 10 and 20. Now when I write n3 is equal to n1 plus n2, what happens? Compiler will flash an error. Why? Because compiler doesn't know how to add two objects of number class. Why? Because number is a user defined class. Now we are having two options. Either you remove this statement, then error will be finished, or teach the compiler how to add two objects of a number class. How we can teach the compiler? With the help of operator overloading. We will overload the operator plus. अब हम क्या बोल रहे हैं? वही प्लस सिंबल दो इंटीजर को भी ऐड करेगा और वही प्लस सिंबल दो नंबर टाइप के क्लास के ऑब्जेक्ट्स को भी ऐड करेगा. Getting my point? Now to overload an operator, we have to insert a method called def underscore underscore add underscore underscore self comma other. Fine. So underscore underscore add is a special kind of member function which invoke implicitly whenever we try to add two objects of a number class. Same thing is applicable to sub. Sub is a special kind of member function which invokes implicitly whenever we try to subtract two numbers or two objects of a number class. So when I write n3 is equal to n1 plus n2, add function will be invoked. When I write n4 is equal to n2 minus n1, so sub function will be invoked. So as you write n3 is equal to n1 plus n2, so n1 will be passed in self and n2 is explicitly passed. This is implicitly passed and this is explicitly passed. So whenever we overload a binary operator, left hand operand is implicitly passed and received in the self pointer, and n2 will be explicitly passed and received in the argument. So when I write def underscore underscore add underscore underscore self comma other, so what we are doing, self is holding n1 and other is holding n2. X is equal to number, again one object is created, x dot num equal to self dot num plus other dot num. So both 10 and 20 will be added and stored in num of x. We will return x. X will be received in n3. Now when I write n3 dot display, it will display 30. Fine. Now when I write n4 is equal to n2 minus n1, so n2 will be passed implicitly, where n1 will be passed explicitly. Now we are overloading minus. So for minus we are having sub method. So def underscore underscore sub underscore underscore self comma other. Self will hold the address of n2 and other will hold the address of n1. X is equal to number, x dot dot num is equal to self dot num minus other dot num. It will subtract, it will hold in num of x and return x, and 4 dot display, it will display the n2 is holding 20, 20 minus 10, it will hold the 30. Fine. Any doubt? Now let's see in Visual Studio. Same program we have written here. Try to understand. Class number, def init, add sub method, then display, then a equal to 50, b equal to 60, c is equal to a plus b. It will display 110. After addition, c will display 110, c is equal to b minus a. Now same symbol is subtracting two integer type variable. Now same minus subtract sign is subtracting two number type object. Same thing is applicable with plus symbol. So what we are doing, we are overloading the plus operator and minus operator. We are putting another load or we are giving another meaning to the प्लस ऑपरेटर. हम क्या बोल रहे हैं, वही प्लस ऑपरेटर क्या करेगा, दो इंटीजर्स को भी ऐड करेगा. वही प्लस ऑपरेटर क्या करेगा, दो फ्लोट्स को भी ऐड करेगा. और वही प्लस ऑपरेटर क्या करेगा, दो नंबर टाइप के ऑब्जेक्ट्स को भी ऐड. द सेम थिंग इज बिहेविंग डिफरेंटली इन डिफरेंट सिचुएशन. व्हाट वी हैव गॉन थ्रू द पॉलीमॉर्फिज्म. पॉलीमॉर्फिज्म का मतलब क्या था, it is the quality that allows one name is plus plus plus. it is the quality that allows one name to be used for two or more related, two or more matlab in all the cases it is adding two numbers, two or more related but technically different purpose. वही प्लस सिंबल इंटीजर ऐड करता है, वही प्लस सिंबल फ्लोट ऐड करता है और वही प्लस सिंबल नंबर टाइप के ऑब्जेक्ट्स को भी ऐड करता है. दिस इज नोन एज पॉलीमॉर्फिज्म. द सेम थिंग इज एग्जिस्टिंग in different forms and behaving differently in different situation is known as polymorphism. Now same program we are writing n3 is equal to n1 plus n2, n3 dot display, n4 is equal to n2 minus n1, n4 dot display. Now let's try to run this program. As we run this code, what I will get after addition 110, after subtraction 10, 60 minus 50, then this n1 is equal to number 10, n2 is equal to number 20, 10 plus 20, n3 is equal to n1 plus n2, so it will return 30, n3 dot display, it will display 30, n4 is equal to n2 minus n1, n4 dot display, it will display 10. Any doubt you can ask me. So like init, this add and sub are the special type of member function which invokes implicitly when it encounter plus symbol or minus symbol with number class. If we try to add two object of a number class, this underscore underscore add underscore underscore will be invoked implicitly. Now if we want to subtract two numbers of two objects of a number class, so underscore underscore sub underscore underscore will be implicitly invoked. So this add and sub are the methods which are used to overload an operator for a particular class for plus symbol and sub symbol. For every operator we are having different functions that we will see in just few minutes. And what is init here? Init is a special kind of member function which invokes implicitly whenever an object is created. What is the use of init? It is used to initialize the data member of a class, because what common sense or what logic says कि before making a call to any member function, that object should be properly initialized, then only you will get the desired result. Getting my point? Now let's move further. This we have already gone through. Now let's talk about something operator overloading. When an operator is overloaded, listen it carefully. Whenever an operator is overloaded, that operator loses none of its original meaning. What does it means? कि अगर आप उसको सिखा रहे हो, किसको, ऑपरेटर को, क्या चीज़ सिखा रहे हो कि दो ऑब्जेक्ट्स को कैसे ऐड करना है, इसका ये मतलब नहीं कि वो इंटीजर को ऐड करना भूल जाएगा या फिर फ्लोट को ऐड करना भूल जाएगा. When an operator is overloaded, that operator loses none of its original meaning. Instead, it gains additional meaning related to the class for which it is defined. But उसके साथ एक additional meaning add हो जाता है कि how to add two object of a number class. तो उसका लोड क्या हो गया, बढ़ गया. पहले वो दो डेटा टाइप को ऐड करता था, अब वो तीसरे डेटा टाइप को भी ऐड करने लग गया, तो ऑपरेटर क्या हो गया, आपका ओवरलोड हो गया. दैट इज वाई वी आर सेइंग दिस इज नोन एज ऑपरेटर ओवरलोडिंग. गेटिंग माई पॉइंट? When an operator is overloaded, that operator loses none of its original meaning. Instead, it gains additional meaning related to the class for which it is defined. Next, only existing operators can be overloaded. What does it mean? The operator which is existing in the Python language, that can only be over. Common sense वाली बात है. Why? Overload तभी होगा जब होगा नहीं तो overload कहाँ से होगा? Fine, only existing operators can be overloaded. We cannot change the precedence or the associativity of an operator. What does it mean? Means if I write n2 equal to n1 plus n2 divided by n3, the first division will take place, then only addition will take place. We cannot change the precedence or associativity of an operator. So while overloading an operator, we are not changing anything, but we are giving an additional meaning to that operator कि how to add two object of a user defined class. Number of operands of an operator takes cannot be altered. If it's a unary, it will take 1. If it's a binary, it will take 2. If it's a tertiary, it will take 3. This is common sense. To overload an operator plus, we need to define underscore underscore add underscore underscore function within the number class. Nothing special about number class. जिस भी क्लास के दो ऑब्जेक्ट्स को आपको ऐड करना है, आपको क्या करना पड़ेगा, अंडरस्कोर अंडरस्कोर ऐड अंडरस्कोर अंडरस्कोर को डिफाइन करना पड़ेगा. नथिंग स्पेशल. इट इज नॉट एनी रूल कि आपको ऐड करने के लिए इस ऐड फंक्शन को डालना ही है. गेटिंग माई पॉइंट. यू कैन हैव सम फंक्शन ऑल्सो. You can have addition number also, function also. You can have add function also. But if I say please add two numbers, सबसे पहले दिमाग में आपके क्या आता है, the plus symbol. सेम थिंग हम क्या चाहते हैं कि अगर नंबर क्लास के ऑब्जेक्ट को भी कोई ऐड करना चाहता है तो उसको कोई मेंबर फंक्शन का नाम याद ना रखना पड़े कि इस क्लास के अंदर हमने उसको ऐड दिया है कि सम दिया है कि समेशन दिया है कि एडिशन दिया है. हमने बोला कि अगर आपको ऐड करना है आप डायरेक्टली लिखिए ऑब्जेक्ट इक्वल टू ऑब्जेक्ट प्लस ऑब्जेक्ट. वी हैव ऑलरेडी ओवरलोडेड प्लस ऑपरेटर इन आवर क्लास, दैट ऑब्जेक्ट्स विल बी एडेड. Likewise, to overload an operator, operator minus, we need to define underscore underscore sub function within the number class. Same thing, we are having n number of function to overload. For addition add, for subtraction sub, for asterisk multiplication mul, for division true div, for modulus mod, for asterisk asterisk for power, and floor division double slash. Same thing for comparison, less than LT, greater than GT, less than equal to LE, greater than equal to GT, equal to EQ, not equal to NE. Same thing for compound assignment operator, plus equal to, minus equal to, I add, I sub, I mul, I div, I mod, I pow, I floor, div. So these are the special kind of member function which invokes implicitly whenever it encounters or whenever Python encounter any operator used with the user defined data types. Fine. Any doubt you can ask me. Why this operator overloading comes under polymorphism? It is the quality that allows one name to be used for two or more related but technically different purpose. वही प्लस सिंबल क्या कर रहा है, दो इंटीजर को भी ऐड कर रहा है. वही प्लस सिंबल दो फ्लोट को भी ऐड कर रहा है. अब हम क्या बोल रहे हैं, वही प्लस सिंबल क्या करेगा, दो नंबर क्लास के ऑब्जेक्ट्स को भी ऐड करेगा. फाइन. When an operator is overloaded, that operator loses none of its original meaning. Instead, it gains additional meaning related to the class for it is defined. Only existing operators can be overloaded. We cannot change the precedence or the associativity of an operator. These are some arithmetic operators. You can take the screenshot and write down all the function. This is comparison and this is compound assignment operator. I think operator overloading is clear to everybody. If any doubt you can ask me, otherwise we will stop here.